I think that you probably don't know what's best for your child. If you would just, when your child comes home and says, Dad, I'm a woman or a man or whatever, and I need to get puberty blockers because I saw this thing or I read this thing, and I'm pretty sure I'm the opposite gender. And you're like, well, shit, let's take you to a doctor immediately. Like, I think that maybe there should be a little pushback based on your experience with your child.
But why?
Why?
Like, why? No,
why?
Why? From a
like legitimately, why
parents,
is the question?
The parent. What is the argument the parents who are anti-trans usually have if their kid goes, "I'm trans"?
I don't care about anti-trans parents or pro-trans parents.
So you've got kids, right? You've got kids. You've got kids.
I got a shitload of them. Too many.
Okay. So one of your kids comes home and is like, "I think I'm trans."
Yeah.
And you say,
"What? What do I say?"
What I'm asking you. Your kid goes, "Daddy, I think I might be trans."
And I say, "Well, that's interesting. Why do you think that?"
Okay, and you have the conversation, and the kid still insists they think they're trans because
how do they insist?
They feel like they feel like they're trapped in the wrong body. They've never felt right. They don't want to. They don't feel like the other boys. They don't want to be around the other boys. Let's say just before puberty, so like anywhere between 11 and 13, maybe like 11 years old. They're not quite going through puberty yet, but they're getting there. And they go, I don't feel like the other boys. I feel like one of the girls. I really, I want puberty blockers. And you say,
I shoot him in the head.
You'd shoot them in the head.
Yeah, 100%. That's what you do, right? Like, that's the bigoted position.
Well, I'm not saying that's the bigoted position. The bigoted position might be to say, no, you're not. Is it not
the bigoted position is saying, no, you're not?
You're not trans. You don't get a say in this. You're not trans. We're not going to a doctor. We're not going to see a specialist. We're not going to see anybody who's actually an expert in the field. I say that you are not trans, and therefore you are not allowed to have puberty blockers. End of story.
Why is that the bigoted
position? Is that not your position? Is that not your position, though? Would that not be your position?
I don't know. You made it up. I'm not sure.
Well, okay. So what would your position be then?
I don't
other than shoot him in the head, right?
See, I can tell you don't have kids.
Okay.
Like yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
Cool.
Do you have kids?
I don't disclose that to the internet. As I've always said, I believe having your kids online, any of that is completely wrong. And it's always been my position. You can ask my chat from the beginning of my online career.
No,
if I ever had a kid, my chat would never know.
Yep, that's a good position. I strongly support you.
I don't think kids should be allowed to be online at all in any way.
Yeah, I wish that I could go back in time and unsay that I had children.
Yeah, no, I get it. Like loads of people who are early in the internet, they're like, oh, I know, no, but that's always been my...
Okay, so good on you. I can tell you don't have kids. So here's the deal. You don't know as a parent what your kid will surprise you with from day to day. Mm-hmm. And you never can predict how you will react in a situation, especially one that is absolutely outside of your realm of understanding. And with the number, like the statistical reality of the number of trans people, for example, like this experience is so far outside of the overwhelming majority of parents' lived experiences that you can't figure out how you'll react. And I think that's a critical fucking element that gets left out of the criticism of these parents who are put in a suddenly impossible position of my child coming to me one day and saying, I'm not the right gender. And then you having to go through the list of fucking weirdos that they have talked to in their life. And this does not mean Keffals, although if that's a possibility, please get your child out of every Discord server that Keffals is in, for the love of Christ. But that being said, I'm talking about literally anybody, their coach, their teacher, some random visiting art director, anybody on earth, their priest. Who fucking knows what anybody has talked to your child about? You by definition can't unless your kid tells you. So like parents are suddenly stuck going through all this stuff. And here is the problem. And this is what I know you glossed over because you like to use the minority as the evidence of the fallacy of the majority or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But the reality is most parents do know their kids. Even shit parents know their kids. They just end up making bad decisions on their kids' behalf. And it really, really sucks. But here's the problem. The worst decision made by a parent is infinitely better than the same worst decision made by a government or a doctor. All right. So if it's the exact same, if it's the exact same decision and it's made by a parent, that's better than by a third party. But that being said, not all parents make great decisions. Some parents beat their kids. Some parents kill their kids. Obviously, some parents are bad, but they are in the extreme minority. The overwhelming majority of parents are fine, and they do know their children. And to say that a parent doesn't know their child enough, that when a kid comes home and says, I'm trans, and they go, whoa, let's just give this a week and see if maybe this is a 12-year-old weird fad, or maybe
give it a week.
Give it a week.
Fine.
Give it
a week. That's fine. Well, it depends. Are they going to start going through puberty?
Minute.
Because that's irreversible, is it not?
I don't know. Why don't we have puberty reversers? You're the geneticist and biologist.
Okay, so unfortunately,
what the fuck have you guys been doing that you can't fix this problem?
Dude, trust me, we've been trying to get funding. All right, like I'm going to be honest.
Funding to reverse puberty
for everything. No, for anything and everything.
Wall with Keffals, then.